All right, welcome back. So, this reading I'm really excited for. We're going to piggyback on the reading that we did last week, where we we tuned into the umbrella nature of this little group. So, what connects all of us and why it is that we all hang out here together and um you guys have been so kind to hang out with me. And I wanted to find out why and like what is it that connects us and like the through line. And one of the really fascinating things that honestly I've been thinking about it ever since is the connection with the Hathors. And I thought that was really, really awesome. Partly, I love Hathor energy. Hathor as a deity, as a Neteru. And by that it was like looked at as a god or a deity, but these were really forces of nature. They were archetypal energy that this facet lived outside. So let's say, the force of the wind that was able to push a ship across the sea, that same force that people witnessed as a natural element was also something that lived inside of them as well. So that passion, that drive, that force that propels you across your own sea inside. So that's more what these deities were like the Neteru is more of that, like a force of nature that is both outside and inside. So on that note, when that reading from last week said that one of the things that connects us all is that the Hathors or the Hathor energy, I really wanted to dig into more of that and get more information about what does that mean and how does that play a role in our lives. And so whew, I'm getting all excited. Blah, blah, blah. But because of that, I decided to obviously light my Hathor candle. I mean, why wouldn't I? Seems so obvious. So here's my beautiful Hathor faced candle. Now, this is a depiction of the top of the columns in the temple of Dendera. And Dendera is also mystically known as the temple of time, which I think is so cool. And in the Temple of Dendera, there is also one of the oldest depictions of the Zodiac that we have. And it has all of the celestial, the constellations depicted as animals and gods and people. And it's just so fascinating. So, uh, we don't know a lot about why uh that particular um Zodiac was in this particular temple. We don't have a lot of real information on that. Uh yeah. And so it really is just such a mystery and such a mystical thing. So anyway, we're bringing that energy into the reading today. And so let's just find out what else we've got going on with this Hathor energy. And I'm going to put her right here, really just taking a look at us all. On the other thing I was going to say is that for this particular reading, I think it would be really important to have a crystal that is special to you. And crystals, I can't wait to do more like videos on specifically crystals, but crystals are amplifiers of energy. And I think since this is an archetypal force that is quiet and um I would love to actually really bring our intentions all together. And by that, having a crystal that you really connect with, that you love, would be nice to have as a little ally in this, where it can help extend your little radio antenna even further, to connect with this part, which is essentially you, this part of you that is in resonance with the Hathor energy, if any of that makes sense. So, anyway, let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and pull some cards. Let's see what. Oh, I feel electric. So let's just take a deep breath, mainly so I can settle a little bit. So I feel like it's a lot of energy coming through. Mm. So I guess to be specific with the intention of the reading is this connection with this Hathor energy. Tell us more about it. Wow, a new earth. This card has come up in several readings now that I have done, for myself and friends. Um, a new earth. It's happening. Hold the vision. Wow, keep holding the vision. I'm just going to hold that there. That is beautiful. Something that it I feel inclined to say with this is, there's so much talk about, especially in like the new age, new spirituality, I guess, kind of communities, is like talking about 3D, 4D, 5D, like all of these kind of things, where 3D is usually seen as the regular mundane, kind of like our regular day to day, old routines, old patterns, karma, stuff that we're actually trying to let go of, because a lot of our like challenges and issues are, I guess, seen as like wrapped up in that 3D. um I don't even know exactly how to phrase it, because this is not really my opinion, but it is one that is being circulated around. And so like 3D being like that kind of like the crunchy stuff that we have to deal with every day. And then 4D is like a transitional space where it's very like dualistic, where you can see. Anyway, we'll move on to 5D because it'll make 4D make more sense. 5D being where things just kind of manifest very quickly. Things are more in like energy. It's more uh like spiritual. And this is, I'm sharing with you the way that it is often described. And for me, in my own practice, I'm kind of ditching all of these 3D, 4D, 5D names, because I feel like that's very like makes my mind hurt, and it just doesn't really serve me. And so the way that I've been looking at it is that we've got old earth in the ways in which we have been using and abusing the earth, its resources, the people, all of the relationships, like all of these challenges live within this like old earth structure. And not all of like old earth actually is like a library of beautiful artifacts. Like I'm just thinking of the temple, and without these ancient artifacts, it holds a piece of our memory. So old earth is actually still very essential and very beautiful. Uh, but then it is also so weighed down with, you know, if you actually go to the temple of Dendera, which I really hope one day I can, that if you go to the temple, you'll see the face of Hathor, which is so lovingly carved into this particular candle. But in the temple, the face is actually chiseled off. Uh, these temples that were so sacred and were built to be memories for us for the future were chiseled out of time. Were chiseled out of our awareness, but the energy still holds a very strong imprint. And so we still remember. They could chisel the whole thing down to nothing and we would still remember. So that's old earth, things that we continue to remember. And then this card, this new earth energy, which could, you could see that as the 5D reality, but I see it as new energy, new information, new wisdom coming through the veil that has been really, really separating us from our connection to spirit, our connection to our memory. And I speak like Akashic memory, so memory of all of your existences, all of your just everything that makes you who you are, like having access to that. Like all of these very thick veils are starting to start falling away. And this feeling of newness is more of a vibration of well-being and peace and health and neutrality instead of duality. Because for such a long time, this old earth energy is like this or that. And the this and that are usually fighting. And then this new energy is actually this and that. And instead of fighting, they're having a conversation to understand each other more. And so this is a long-winded rabbit hole of a card, but this Hathor energy, what I'm really feeling strongly right now is that this connection to the Hathors is actually us holding a seed from ancient times of what we dreamed, what we dreamt we could create when we came back to today. So this Hathor is a bridge from our very, very, very ancient selves, way back when perhaps we actually danced and prayed in this beautiful Dendera temple. Perhaps we learned astrology, or perhaps, the esoteric sciences were thriving back then, and they're not woo, they're not magic. It was a recognition of energy and that we can talk to it. And that recognition is coming right back because we hold a seed of that ancient dream and we're bringing it into this new energy, this new version of what Earth could look like, where things are more sustainable, more suited to our well-being, where everything can thrive. And it's not just these people can thrive and everyone else is suffering to make them thrive. Like that's no longer compatible going forward in this new energy. Like if you've noticed the things that are still in that dual place where it's this is right and this is wrong, if you've noticed those structures are really starting to crumble. And that's why we have so many people that are still uh, at war with these different things that really there is no solution because both sides are true in a certain aspect where it's like both have a reason to exist. Anyway, that feels really convoluted, but it was like, I mean, the energy coming through is like the size of the planet, and I am just a bitty itty bitty channel trying to bring all of this in. So I feel like we could just discuss that at length for the next 10 years. So yeah, okay. That's I think to sum it up, let's just sum that up, is that this the Hathor's energy is a link to the original dream that we had for what we wanted to create in this new energy today. Does that make sense? I still feel like that is so super vague. They're ancient memories that you have. This is why that crystal that hopefully you've connected to that you're holding, it can help you link link yourself back to that old memory that and it's like an ancient future. I feel like this reading is there's really no way that I can boil this down. Okay, so look at that. It's a link to the cosmic heart. And if you think about who Hathor is as a Neteru, as a cosmic force, she was all about passion and pleasure, and she's like a Venus energy. Like seriously enjoying how wonderful this world is. This physical world is not just heavy and dreary and dull, and it is full of life and full of excitement and curiosity, and that cosmic heart beating like that is that bridge. So your ancient heart is still holding a very, very sacred dream from long, long, long time ago. And I'm talking like the age of Lemuria and Atlantis and ancient, and then moving forward, you know, because that was incredibly ancient. And then you've got ancient Egypt, and then that was incredibly ancient. And then you've got ancient Greece. So it's like all these different pieces. If you look at the ancient Romans and the like Greece, if you were to go back then, the time of the Egyptians, it was like to us the ancient Greeks. Like it is that long ago for it. Does that make sense? I feel like I'm not able to really get my everything concrete. This is just so like this. It is new. It is this new intangible, the manifesting of a very, very old dream. So anyway, the cosmic heart, uh, devotion, potency, make your life a moving prayer. And honestly, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be aware that your heart, this heart of yours, has been beating in so many different variations across time, and that it is still the same reverberation. You still have the same essence across time in all of your incarnations, and that you're still holding on to this really beautiful seed of what is being created now. And really, we just need to look around. Like the fact that, I was watching a movie last night. It's a children's movie. I think it was called Nimona. And I don't want to give anything away, like spoilers, but anyway, in the very, very opening part of the show, it already depicted a very interesting world where love was accepted between anybody. And I'll just have you guys go watch it, I guess, because I don't really want to give it away. But there were so many different elements that showed me like, wow, we're starting to come a long way with our idea of what's wrong, what's right, what's bad, what's good, and that these dual natured things are starting to blur and merge in a really sweet way. And we're seeing how there's more organic foods, more healthy foods. There's more ability for people you can heal your own body instead of just looking towards pharmaceuticals, that there are more options available to us right now in this new energy to deal with the problems and the hassles and the challenges of the old structures. So let's see, I still want to understand more about how this is specifically connected with the Hathor energy. And so because this is a very like Venus energy, I'm going to pull from the Rose Oracle, which is kind of a companion deck to the Star Seed. So the Rose Oracle. Let's tap into more of that Hathor energy. And sorry, guys, if this reading is super confusing. I'm trying my best with this energy. It's quite big. Oh, wow. Look at that. Okay. So there's two cards here. The Return, a new story. You decide. Alignment. It's coming together. Wow. So what's really strongly coming through with this Hathor energy is that you knew a long time ago, your ancient, ancient self that was back in the time of these temples. You planted a seed that you would return one day, but not just return and do it all again the same way you always have been. That this was going to be a life that you would rewrite your story and you would change the patterns that have held you stuck. And that this was actually going to be a life that you could break free and that you could be more of a sovereign individual in your own alignment, not in the alignment of others around you, but for you to finally decide what is good and true and meaningful for you. And I think in a lot of cases, that can mean, on a more human level, it means we break free of our families or break free of friendships that really lock us into place. Or, and I'm talking about relationships that don't help us grow into who we really are. If we're locked into relationships that we need to be a certain way in order to be loved, then that is not a healthy relationship. Relationships between two loving, unconditionally loving individuals will be ones where both are able to express themselves and be who they are without having to justify it or fit into a certain type of box. So, and I can say that for me in my own life, that has happened many times where I'm around individuals that, in order for me to feel like I get their approval, I need to conform into a certain structure or a certain box so that they can feel comfortable. And that is no longer in alignment with the ancient dream that we carried forward it's no longer in alignment with our own cosmic heartbeat that is connected to all the versions of us across time and space. And so that brings us to the fact that we have returned here to create a new story and to continue loving these people, because in my own life, even though I'm not connected to a lot of these different people, um, in like having phone calls all the time or going out to dinner, like perhaps those relationships have parted, but I can still see them with love and respect and know that I just need to do something different now. And that might be playing out in your life as well. So we've returned to rewrite our stories. And then in order to do that though, is that we need to release the petals. Release the petals. So transformation, death and rebirth, shedding, all change. And it makes perfect sense. Like this new version of us, this new version of Earth, this beautiful, pristine, yummy, Hathorish, Venusian energy really can't come through, can't manifest if we're still holding tightly onto petals on the rose, because this is the rose oracle. So now we have to imagine like there's this rose, and if it's holding on to all the dead petals, it will never be a new rose again. It will just continue to be a dead, withered, ugly thing. So I mean, there's beauty in dead roses as well, but let's just be real about it. Is that, do we always want to look at dead roses, or do we want to see new life emerge from that same rose bush? And so that's basically what's going on, is that it is that same rose bush. It's still earth. However, it's growing brand new roses. And we're in the phase where we are we're those cosmic gardeners, and we're going through and we're cutting back all of the old growth so that new growth can arrive. And that is challenging and tricky when it comes to um, our day-to-day lives, because that means that maybe we're not uh could make Thanksgiving very tricky. It could make, you know, um, these different times where you're supposed to be a certain thing and you show up and you can't be that certain thing because it hurts to stuff yourself into a shoe that doesn't fit. So that's absolutely natural. And so that this Hathor energy, this thing, this I mean, it's so cosmic. This energy reaches back millennia, but then it's so relevant now. Like it's this Hathor energy, this cosmic part of you that is connected to Hathor really is that piece of you that is ready to do this kind of hard work, but in such a graceful way, because like roses lose their petals gracefully. They just stop clinging and are released and they just drop. And then it's beautiful because then that actually turns into the food for the future roses itself. So, wow. Hmm. I want to see what else. What else? What else? Last card. This might crack open another can of worms. I don't know, but I want to pull from this one. Hmm. Oh my gosh. And it's totally natural too if you feel like you get lots of burps. Like for me, that is actually kind of how I release old petals, is I find myself, I just kind of burp. And yeah, and it's just kind of releasing. And that's okay. The other way that you know that you're releasing something is like if you get little rashes that flare up now and then, just allow it to move through your body. Or like like a little sore throat, or sometimes it's like something going on downstairs where you just need to let it all go. Just allow your body to do this work naturally without getting mental about it and thinking something's wrong with you. You're just releasing, you're just letting it go. And don't worry, it is what's coming back, the return, what's coming back is more of this beautiful cosmic heart. Okay, last card, because perhaps this reading is getting long. All right, last card from this Hathor energy. What would you like us to know more about the connection that we have with you? This Hathor energy, ancient future energy. Wow, look at that. Oh, this is so cool. I love doing this. It's so cool. Okay, first one, star ancestor. Wow. Follow the voice of your soul. That is amazing. And look, there's even the pyramids there. Oh my God. And Sirius. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. I love this so much. That Hathor is a star ancestor. That's beautiful. That is beautiful. But more than that, it's also this ancient piece of you. You are your ancestors. Just think about that. Like there's not much separation. Like you hold the wisdom of all of your ancestors. And some of those ancestors were here on earth and some of them are in the stars. I mean, what they all are now, right? But I'm talking ancient star ancestors, the ones that actually came here and started this place. So, yeah, so this connection with Hathor is star ancestor energy. And then this is the card that came through after that was the direction guardian. Choose your path. And these direction guardians are stars in the sky. So Regulus is Leo, um, Aldebaran is Taurus. I'm trying to remember these two. The it'll come. I'll give it a second to like mm, okay. That'll take more than a second. Anyway, so the star ancestor, interesting, connected to literal star guardians. And these guys are actually in the sky. You can look at them and they marked the four corners of the cosmos. And so what I'm getting here, this is big time cosmic. And so this might end up being a three-part reading and we do more on this next time. Is that this Hathor energy is literally connected to the piece. This is really big because, the Dendera temple has the Zodiac, the oldest Zodiac. So what's coming through with this is, oh gosh, it is just so important for you to take a look at your astrology, your natal chart. Like taking a look at your natal chart will show you your star ancestors and also show you directions in which your soul is headed. And that having some mental awareness of where your stars, like on your natal chart, the stars that show up that are really part of what makes you you, show you where your cosmic heartbeat is taking you. It shows you like a holographic image of your soul's trajectory, where you've been and where you're going. And so this is really beautiful because this Hathor energy is that star energy coming through your old ancient ancestor. And then this is also you as an ancient star person that has traveled from all the different galaxies and then arrived here to really learn something beautiful. But that you're here now with a direction guardian, these stars in your chart still hold um, direction for where your soul is headed. And this really can be so informative. So, I mean, take a look at your chart, guys, and see. For me, what's coming through really important is your north and south node. The south node being where you have been, the north node where you are going. And take a look and see, where is your north node? What house? What sign? And that gives you a little bit of information on where it is that your soul is, what it wants to learn in this lifetime so that you can keep moving forward. So, wow. And so, how does this relate back with the Hathor energy? I think it's just because these stars, this Dendera, um, because it is actually like a literal place. We could all go there. Wouldn't it be amazing if we all had a little retreat and we went to the Temple of Dendera? I mean, that would be awesome. But that is literally a place on earth that you can connect with the ancient directions. But remember, this is like both outside and inside. So sitting and contemplating, you're and it's not really something you can think about. It's more just something that you can feel. Where do you want to go? Like, where is your cosmic heart taking you? And that you are so protected. In fact, it's like one of those things, like it's already written in the stars. Like this trajectory, your soul already knew that you were going to do that. You're going to make these kinds of choices. And it is like being the most absolute supporter of your journey and is excited for you to keep making your own choices. Like this again, this direction guardian is about you making these choices from your heart. So this Hathor energy, so ancient, so potent, and like bigger than I can boil down into this reading, obviously, because it just feels like I feel like this reading, if you were to take a look at it's like bursting out the sides of this little web space that we're in. Like the energy is just too big to be filtered down into this small little reading here. So I have a feeling that this will just become kind of a series and we can just continue to talk to Hathor, this part of you, this cosmic star ancestor of yours. Oh my gosh. Because it's pretty amazing. But I'll leave it at that for now because I think that gives us tons to chew on. Yeah, wow. So probably to just like bring it to some kind of conclusion, I feel like a lot of this is just tuning into your heart and listening to that small little whisper of your ancient dream. And why did you come back right here, right now? Why did you come back? And the fact that like this little group is doing it all together, I feel like we all have a certain commonality in how we remember and what we're doing now that we're back again and reimagining and rewriting our stories. So I think it's really pretty epic and beautiful to be doing this rewriting with all of you here right now. I feel like even if perhaps I had been born in a few generations in the past, this would never have happened. I would have been far too scared to step out and be this vulnerable and bold and open about the weird things that I see and believe, and that that this is a safe place for us to express ourselves and be really strange with each other, be our cosmic star ancestor selves, tap into the Akashic records. You know, you are a freaking psychic, there's no doubt about it. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. And by that, it just means you're tuned into your intuition really strongly, that you're very aware of your intuition. So obviously, your intuition has been steering you perfectly. And the more you lean into that, the Hathor is now beaming this, the cosmic heart has a vibration. And if we really listen to the vibration, that just continues to propel us forward in the direction we really um, most desire to go as a soul being. So, all right, I will leave it at that. I talked a lot about astrology and your natal chart, and I just want to remind you guys that I do those. And one of the things that I most love to do in star charts is exactly this star ancestor and looking at the different stars that actually are in your chart. These are fixed stars. And taking a look at the specific fixed stars that are associated with major points in your astrology chart to see what your cosmic blueprint really had in mind for it gives us little secrets. It is a way to look at our lives. It's like a divination tool for the hologram of your life. So it is such a cool tool. And I love to do these. So if you are interested and would like to book an astrology session with me, there's several ways to get in touch with me. So just find a way to get in touch with me. And yeah, so and then on that note, just to, why not just share some more, is that I also do oracle card readings just like this, but more tailored to you specifically, where we tap into your personal Akashic records and we dive in further from there, where like if Hathor had a more specific message for you in particular, we could find that out and I could read that in the cards and dig a little deeper. Like this is for all of us, so this is more of a general reading that my intention is that it apply to each and every one of our lives very personally. But if you want to get in even more specific to your energy, then you can also book a reading with me to do that. It's one of the things that I love to do. I think it's probably my favorite thing to do is these oracle readings with others. So yeah, give me a chance to do something I love doing even more. And with that, I will say goodbye and on to the rest of the day. So I'll see you back here next time. Much love, and I will see you later.